Good evening, Nigeria, and welcome back to my channel, where we look beyond the headlines to bring you the full gist you need to know, straight up and professional. I'm your anchor, and tonight, we are diving into a matter that has sparked curiosity and intense debate across our dear nation. It's the headline that has everyone talking. Sheikh Gumi finally speaks. Why Tinubu must pardon Nnamdi Kanu now? Now, this is a heavy one, isn't it? A prominent, influential Islamic cleric, Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, weighing in on the fate of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the convicted leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, or IPOB. The question is, why is he saying this, and why must it happen now? Before we get into the details, if you find this conversation valuable, please show your support, like this video right now, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our real-time, professional analysis of Nigerian affairs. Thank you. The context, for those who may not be fully in the know, is vital. Just a few weeks ago, specifically around November 20th of this year, Nnamdi Kanu was convicted on terrorism-related charges by a federal high court and sentenced to life imprisonment. This judgment immediately reopened the floodgates of conversation, with calls for both strict adherence to the law and, conversely, a plea for a political solution. In the middle of all this, Sheikh Gumi, a figure known for his engagement in complex security issues, particularly in the north, stepped forward with his position. But here is the interesting twist our research has uncovered. Sheikh Gumi's call for a pardon is actually conditional. It's not a blanket, unconditional demand. Speaking publicly, the Sheikh has made it clear that he is prepared to champion the cause for Kanu's pardon and amnesty, but only if Nnamdi Kanu himself shows remorse for his actions and publicly calls for peace. He made a very strong argument, rooted in Nigerian history. Gumi cited past instances of presidential magnanimity, such as former President Shehu Shagari granting amnesty to the former Biafran leader Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, and the late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua granting amnesty to Niger Delta militants. His point is clear. Nigeria has a history of using non-kinetic approaches, dialogue, pardon, and amnesty to heal national divisions. He argues that if Kanu is ready to embrace peace, then the government should follow the path of reconciliation over purely punitive measures. Now, it's not just Sheikh Gumi talking about this. What our real-time research shows is that there is a growing, unified appeal from the political class in the Southeast region. The Southeast Caucus in the House of Representatives has also issued a strong appeal to President Bola Tinubu. These lawmakers are not disputing the court's judgment. They respect the judiciary. However, they are arguing that this matter has now evolved from being a purely legal issue to a serious national concern with significant humanitarian, economic, and security consequences. In their communiqué, they humbly appealed to the president to consider a political and humanitarian intervention using the constitutional powers granted under Section 175 of the 1999 Constitution to grant a pardon. Why the urgency? They believe that Kanu's continued incarceration is worsening the fragile security situation in the Southeast. They argue that a presidential act of mercy right now has the potential to de-escalate tensions, restore normalcy, and reduce the cycle of civil resistance and security operations that have plagued the region, leading to profound social disruptions, closed markets, and reduced commercial activity. So, you see, the headline is powerful and attention-grabbing, but the full picture is more nuanced. You have a key religious figure offering a conditional olive branch, backed by a significant block of elected representatives who are pleading for a political solution to avert a deeper crisis. This brings us to a related and ongoing development that just happened a couple of days ago: Kanu's application for a transfer from the Sokoto Correctional Center. Remember, after his conviction, he was moved to Sokoto, far from the federal capital territory, where his legal consultants and family are primarily based. On Monday, December 8th, the Federal High Court in Abuja declined to grant his ex parte motion, requesting a transfer to a facility closer to Abuja, such as Suleja or Kefi. The court held that the request could not be granted ex parte, meaning the prosecution and correctional service must be formally served to respond. This is an important detail because Kanu has been attempting to personally handle his appeal process, and he argued that the distance to Sokoto makes it impracticable for him to effectively prosecute his constitutionally guaranteed right to appeal. The court also noted that his notice of appeal was filed before the judgment, which is invalid, and he will need to do the needful and file a new one. This court decision re-emphasizes that the legal path is still a long and complex one, making the political and humanitarian intervention being championed by Sheikh Gumi and the Southeast lawmakers even more significant. They are essentially saying, don't wait for the end of a long, drawn-out legal battle that only keeps the region tense. Use the presidential power for peace now. The big conversation point for all of us, for every Nigerian, is this. What is the greater priority for our nation at this moment? Is it the strict, unyielding application of the law, where a conviction is served to the fullest extent? Or is it national stability, peace, and economic recovery, which may require a statesman-like act of clemency? This is the dilemma before President Tinubu. Past leaders have faced similar moments and chosen clemency to heal divides. The question is, will this administration see this as an investment in national cohesion, as the lawmakers put it, or a compromise on the rule of law? The argument for the pardon is that it is a powerful symbol of inclusiveness and a clear message that dialogue is possible, even in the most difficult circumstances. It could open the door for a broader engagement between the federal government and stakeholders in the Southeast to chart a sustainable path to peace and economic growth. The argument against it, of course, is the integrity of the judicial process and the message it sends to other groups engaging in similar separatist or violent agitations. The balance between justice and peace is the tightrope on which the current administration now walks. Now, here is a crucial angle from our research. President Bola Tinubu's position. Despite the increasing pressure from lawmakers, civil society groups, and now a prominent northern cleric, President Tinubu himself has remained measured, not making any definitive public pronouncement on a pardon since the court judgment. In the past, the presidency has always maintained that the Kanu case is purely a judicial matter and that they would not interfere with the process. However, this has been the standard response before a conviction. The situation is fundamentally different now. With the legal process moving forward to the appeal stage, and with a life sentence already handed down, the call for a political and humanitarian intervention under Section 175 of the Constitution is now fully in the hands of the President. The question isn't whether the legal process is over, it isn't, as Kanu's legal team will appeal, but whether the political will exists to cut short the legal tension for the sake of national stability. What the Southeast leaders, including the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, are doing is trying to convince President Tinubu that granting clemency would be a demonstration of his administration's renewed hope agenda, signaling inclusiveness and a commitment to genuine healing. They are painting it as an investment in peace, arguing that keeping Kanu incarcerated is inadvertently providing a rallying cry for the miscreants and armed groups who have hijacked the original agitation to continue causing mayhem in the Southeast. They argue that if the government can negotiate with bandits and grant amnesty to former militants in other regions, why can't a similar path be taken for the Southeast, which is currently suffering devastating economic setbacks from the security crisis and the imposed sit-at-home orders? This is a powerful moral and political argument that the Tinubu administration cannot easily dismiss. The president is known to be a pragmatic politician, and the political cost of allowing the Southeast to remain volatile is massive for his administration's legacy. Let's look closely at the condition Sheikh Gumi attached to his call. Kanu must show remorse and call for peace. This condition is actually a crucial, face-saving political bridge for the federal government. If Kanu's legal team or family can facilitate a public broadcast message of remorse and a call for the total cessation of violence and sit-at-home orders, it would provide the necessary justification for President Tinubu to exercise clemency without appearing to surrender to pressure or reward crime. It would frame the pardon not as a defeat of the judicial system, but as a victory for peace, dialogue, and a genuine internal shift away from violence by the convicted leader. Without this public show of remorse, the political risk for President Tinubu is much higher. So, where do we stand today? The legal path is active, but difficult. Kanu is in Sokoto prison, and his motion to be transferred closer to Abuja for easy access to his legal team was rejected by the court for now, pushing the next hearing to January 2026. This prolongs his isolation and the difficulty of prosecuting a fast appeal. The political pressure is intense. Lawmakers, including those from other regions, are strongly urging the president to use his constitutional pardon powers. The conditional dialogue is open. Sheikh Gumi's public statement has offered a framework remorse for pardon that provides the political capital needed for the president to act decisively for peace. The next few weeks are critical. Will Nnamdi Kanu's team accept the conditional path offered by Gumi? Will President Tinubu take the counsel of the Southeast lawmakers and political observers? This is the high-stakes political chess game currently unfolding in Nigeria. The outcome will not only determine Kanu's fate, but will profoundly shape the security, economy, and political stability of the Southeast region and, by extension, the entire Nigerian Federation. Thank you for tuning in to this deep analysis. We are committed to tracking this story as it develops and bringing you the most factual, professional, and real-time updates. Before we sign off, I'll remind you one more time. If you've appreciated the clarity and insight of this talk, please take a moment right now to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your engagement helps us continue to produce quality journalism for you.